On this week's episode, we talk about Call of Duty and Battlefield's new trailers, as well as Stellaris and Uncharted 4's final release. Welcome to video games, eh? Hello everyone and welcome to Video Games, the very Canadian podcast where we discuss some of the latest news, the games we've been playing recently, and other video game related stuff. My name is Garrett May, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Josh Taylor. How are you doing today, Josh? I'm
doing excellent today, Garrett. I'm excited for the podcast.
I'm super excited because, as maybe some of the diehard viewers out there, all 1.5 of you know, we missed last week. Our bad.
We did.
We dropped the ball.
We were busy.
We're back. Video Games A is back, and we're ready to go for another rip, pod. So, just so you guys know, in case you didn't, you can now find Video Games A on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, and of course, YesGuyGaming.com, where you can also find plenty of video game reviews done by myself. So, however you are listening to this, check out our content, subscribe, all of that great stuff. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Okay, and with that, let's get to the show, Josh. I only have 3 news topics today.
Okay.
But I think they're pretty meaty ones, so I figured that was good enough.
Okay, I can even add another one if we need.
Okay. So first up, I figured we had to touch on this first, because this to me was big news, and it was kind of exciting in the gaming world. So last week...
yeah, this was the big news.
That's right. Last week, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare trailer came out. They announced the release of the game. I don't think many people were expecting a new Call of Duty game to come so fast.
Has it been a year, even?
It will be a year when the game comes out.
Okay, but still.
But still, so soon after. So everyone's kind of going, well, really? Is this...
They've been doing that forever, though. That's how I've always felt about Call of Duty.
Right, no one's really surprised, but it's just the same reaction, really?
Again?
It's so soon. Again?
Yeah.
So, then what happens is, a few days later, Battlefield releases their Battlefield 1 trailer. And it just blows everybody's minds. I mean, everyone was kind of expecting, if you're paying attention, you had to be expecting that it was going to be a World War I themed game. But the trailer, I watched it, and we talked about it before, but it's just wow. Pretty heavy stuff, but
it's nuts.
Looking real good.
It looks so good. This is also gaming related, but NVIDIA announced their new graphics card this past week, which is going to be more powerful than the Titan X, but for a third of the price or half the price.
Looking forward to that too.
Yeah, so I'll be, hopefully this summer, now that I have a job, I'll be upgrading my PC and I'll be able to play games like Battlefield 1. And so that trailer got me so hyped for that.
Yeah, and Battlefield is a series that has done it well. I admire what they've done with that series in terms of their gameplay and stuff. It's a first-person shooter, but they've included kind of the air and sea and the vehicles and just the whole scope of the battlefield.
They've always had that since Battlefield 1942, as far as I can remember.
No, that's what I mean, and that's why I'm really impressed. So it was just hilarious that right after Call of Duty, the perennial cookie-cutter game release company.
Yeah, and their trailer got X amount of dislikes.
Downvoted
so many dislikes.
So downvoted. Then Battlefield's hey, while you're down, slap right to the face.
Yeah.
Here's our kick-ass game. We're going to kick your ass.
So much better. It looks... Oh, man. And the World War I theme, which people have been apparently being where we want one of those games now.
They did.
And the fact that it looks like they did it, and they also looks like they did it really gory and dark. It looks like it's going to be a brutal World War I experience. Hey, and can I just say, I hope us Canadians have a big role in that video game.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Vimy Ridge, right?
The Vimy Ridge should be 100%
Vimy
on
Ridge,
that.
it better be in there. It better have those Canucks.
Yeah. Oh.
Our ancestors.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, the one thing, and I looked up this on Metacritic. This is what they had as their suspected release dates. But for the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is supposed to come out on November 4th. Is what it's looking like. And Battlefield 1 is going to come out a couple weeks earlier on October 18th. just another hey, great little game you've got there, but we're going to do it better and actually sooner.
And sooner. I mean, if Battlefield 1 can release and have
Like nothing
um,
wrong?
no thing wrong,
That'll be
yeah,
great.
and no delays, anything like that,
That'll be great,
that would
man.
be amazing.
Good for them.
And I hope that gets a lot of people to stop buying COD games every time they release a new one and buy the Battlefield games.
I hope so too, man.
Because, like, look what Battlefield's doing now, and they only get like 40 or less % of the market of that first-person shooter player base. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's not like Call of Duties are bad. It's its own style. But like to have a game out every single year with that same kind of style at
Right.
full max AAA price, it's kind of like
Yeah, like they could just patch it for the amount of stuff they add in.
or DLC or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like they add in so like little new concepts and stuff. The gameplay mechanics are always like identical, first-person shooter.
Yeah.
And now they're just kind of getting more future-y.
That's right. That's
Like-
right. Oh gosh. All right.
And
well,
speaking of things you could add in with a patch and a DLC, The Witcher 3, I know
yes.
that's our next piece of
You're
news.
creeping my news, Josh. You're creeping my news.
Yeah, but I have more info on this than our news. But start with the news.
Okay, well, the news that I found is that The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine release date was allegedly leaked,
Yes.
accidentally, on a Steam page that was posted about the game, where they showed the release date as May 31st, and it said that some people saw it as May 30th as well. But then it was quickly taken down, but not before, obviously. People saw it and took screen captures and stuff and sent it out. So it looks like it's allegedly going to be coming out at the end of the month. And I want to hear what your thoughts were, because I know you were super fired up about this. About this
I'm
release.
excited. I'm excited because today I heard that they announced there'd be 90 new quests and 30 hours of gameplay.
Oh my god.
On top of the new world they're adding.
Oh
Like,
my god,
holy-
man.
I know, so
Wow.
I'm beyond excited. I hope I can get Stellaris from today installed and played and kind of I can be over it in a month.
By
I don't
then.
know.
I
We'll
think
see.
you could.
We'll see. But hopefully.
But man, like that is I admire what CD Projekt Red
Right.
does, man. Like, are you kidding me? Like
Like,
this
look
is
what-
like The Witcher 3 2.
Yeah, they've added 30 hours of gameplay to the Witcher 3 now, and it's only a DLC at like $30 or something.
right.
I don't know the actual price right now.
Yeah.
But then Call of Duty's adding almost maybe 8 hours of single player content.
Yeah.
Maybe. And it's-
Maybe.
And it's like $80 or going to be $60.
Man. Yeah. No, I'm just but it's great though. It's kind of what you expect, right? The big bullies are starting to get pushed around.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
exactly.
you guys can't really do this anymore, or the internet's just going to troll you, as they should,
Yeah. You have to start impressing people,
as we should.
as we should.
Okay, and my last bit of news. This is a great bit of news. I love when what happened last year with this. But so the Video Game Hall of Fame inductees for 2016 have been announced or released, and we've been away for 2 weeks, so I forget when it happened, but it was within the last 2 weeks. I think it was recently.
Since the last episode.
Since the last episode.
Yeah.
And so they are Grand Theft Auto 3,
Yep.
The Legend of Zelda,
Yep.
The Sims, The Oregon Trail, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Space Invaders.
How did these get selected? Because they're kind of all from like different eras.
Yeah, well, I think the criteria is what I was reading in this article was that it's most influential was a major part. Like, so most influential games towards the industry, which is kind of why I get some of these. And so last year's class was the inaugural class, the first time they ever did it.
Okay,
And so that was
yeah.
Tetris, Doom,
Strong
Super Mario
influence.
Brothers. What else was there? World of Warcraft, Pong, and Pac-Man. That was last year's class. And you know what? That kind of made sense to me. The first class, you have just 6 games from a wide range and all equally influential, in my opinion. But this year's actually looks pretty good. The one that surprised me, truthfully, was Grand Theft Auto 3.
See, I don't think so because every other Grand Theft Auto game has just been based on that.
No,
model.
I agree, but that's kind of one.
And
one
every
franchise.
open world game. Open world games from then on have been different.
Right.
Like
no,
that was kind of the first big true 3D open world game.
no, not to take away of how well it did. I mean,
No doubt.
great game and did set the standard for that franchise. I just kind of question what what maybe
For the
would-
industry.
you know, well, they all helped the industry. But I looked at the list that got
Like booted, didn't
that
get
was
in.
the final 15.
Yeah.
You know, like the first Pokemon games, for example, were in there.
See, they have to go in like next year.
You know, so for me, I was kind of like, well, I guess for them, they got 15 epic games. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, what do you do?
What do you do? But anyway, there's the 6 for this year. Congrats to them and all the
Go
developers.
through the list again.
So that's Grand Theft Auto 3, The Legend of Zelda, so the original, The Sims, The Oregon Trail, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Space Invaders.
Yeah, those are good ones.
Classic games. The Oregon Trail, you have died of dysentery. That's the one, right?
That said, fun fact: Space Invaders was one of the first games to ever have difficulty, and that's because at the beginning of the game there's 30 enemies or whatever.
Right.
And on the hardware they had back then, they could only update so slowly
Right.
because there's so many of them, 30.
Yeah.
But now, as you killed them, the game would get faster because it could more efficiently handle the amount of
okay.
guys. And so when you had one guy, he'd start moving around like quickly.
Super fast.
Yeah. And so
Fun
that was
fact.
difficulty, yeah.
Well, and that's why it got its spot in the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Standing in the Hall of Fame. Ooh. Sorry, pardon my terrible singing
Not
abilities.
terrible at all.
Anyways, okay, so that's it for the news.
Okay.
That's it for the news. But we're not really done with the news because our next segment that we usually do, and I'm a bit disappointed this week, Josh, frankly, because it's my favorite segment, and you guys should all know it. It is, what is EA screwing up this week? And I have to be totally honest, and I feel terrible saying it, but EA had a great week this week.
So far.
So
it's
far.
Only, it's
Hey.
only Monday.
It's only Monday, but last week was a great week
Yeah.
for them. You know what? And it's about time, EA.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're going to talk about what did EA do right this week?
Oh, what?
Because I couldn't find a screw up.
No, I know.
I couldn't
Same.
do it. I looked hard. And usually when you dig hard enough for something, you can probably find it.
Right, like somebody at EA.
It's a big company. Somebody screwed something up.
Yeah.
And there were a few things that I thought, well, maybe. But no, nothing that I could really say was a screw up. Just because it's such a sweet week. So we'll talk about what they did this week. So we already talked about the Battlefield. That's EA. The
Yeah.
Battlefield trailer release.
Hang on. So now this is going from us ripping on EA every week to now it's a good publicity segment.
Hey, we're good
Yeah.
Canadians, eh?
We are good
We
Canadians.
ripped in the
Hey.
last 7 weeks, so when they have a good week, we got to give them a little props.
Exactly. We can dish it out negative
That's
and
right.
positive.
EA, when you do good stuff, this is what you get. Good for you. Battlefield
Yeah.
1, props.
Props indeed.
And what else did they do? They announced that there's a new action-adventure Star Wars game coming out. EA has released they're making a new one.
What?
On May the 4th, Star Wars Day, that passed. May the
Wait.
4th be with you.
Wait, they announced it on May the 4th.
They announced it on May the 4th.
Okay.
They haven't released any details about what the game is about or what's it like, but they said action-adventure game, Star Wars, here it's coming.
Does that mean it's going to play like the isometric action adventure potentially?
Who knows?
Like kind of top-downy?
Who knows, man?
Because that would be so fun. You have like a lightsaber. You can just have a skill that deflects droid
That would
lasers.
be great. Hey, let your imagination run wild. But EA is like, hey, here's a little piece. May the 4th.
May the 4th
Star
be
Wars
with
Day.
us.
We're going to make you guys a game. Good for you.
Dude, it's probably not coming out for 7 years.
It's going to come out in 7 years. There's going to be like 100 DLC items and
And
gonna
the whole
cost
game will cost
$2,000.
$300. Yeah.
Shoot. But for now, it looks great.
Now, good news, EA.
As well, just another little thing that I thought was nice is that with the announcement of the Battlefield 1, they're giving away some free DLC to Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline. Just some free DLC, cosmetics, and stuff like that. So I just thought, I was like, you know what? Great announcement, Star Wars game, and you gave away your fans a little something.
Could this be the beginning of like flipping over a new leaf for EA? Potentially.
I thought it might be because like they did it right. Like this looked calculated.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to look good.
Yeah.
And they did it. So you know what? Good for them. But fans of what is EA screwing up this week, don't worry. We'll look harder for you guys next week to make sure we find a screw up.
Yeah, we'll truly scour.
We're gonna
the
make
EA
sure because we
vault.
can't have 2 weeks where EA does good stuff.
Yeah. That doesn't happen. It's not that we can't have it. That doesn't happen.
It just won't happen. We promise. Okay, next up is Josh's favorite segment of the week. Critically acclaimed, worldwide renowned. No other podcast does this. This is ours. We're going to get Valve Corp on this. They're going to know this is our segment. This is our Steam Picks of the Week. Josh, what is your Steam Pick of the Week?
So we hyped this. This game was in the hype zone not too long ago, and as it does, time has passed, and now it is out. It is my Steam Pick of the Week, Stellaris.
That's great, eh? You know, we hype up a game, and then here it is. It's come full circle.
So here it is, their official Steam page. Explore a vast galaxy full of wonder. Paradox Development Studio, makers of the Crusader Kings and Europa Universalis series, presents Stellaris. Is it Stellaris or Stellaris? We'll find out. An evolution of the grand strategy genre with space exploration at its core. So to me, this game is 4X. Like, okay, I've been watching streams.
It starts as 4X.
Yeah, and then becomes grand strategy. Yeah, and
I'm down.
And like apparently, like while it's becoming grand strategy, there's still the elements of 4X. You're still exploring, exploiting, exterminating, and something else.
Winning, kicking ass.
But it looks.
That's what 4X
I'm
is,
so
right?
excited. After this podcast, I've purchased it. It should be installing.
I've purchased it as well.
It is now installing.
Beauty.
By the way.
Beauty. Good update.
So after this podcast, I will be busy.
So stay tuned next week for our thoughts on Stellaris for sure, because I can guarantee both of us are going to have played this game. We were super hyped. That's what the hype zone does. It gets us hyped up for it. And
Garrett, if we have time this week, we should both play our single player games for a bit, and then maybe on the weekend, Sunday night or something, have a multiplayer game just to see how that goes.
We should do that. That'll help with my review too, because I really want to review this game for you guys. So I'm going to try to get that as soon as possible. It's tough though. So if there's any of you sitting on the fence out there thinking, well, maybe stay tuned. I'll tell you guys my thoughts. And Josh and I'll tell you our thoughts when we talk about it next week as well.
For sure.
But great Steam Pick of the week, Josh.
Yeah, no doubt I'm going to have a lot to talk about. My little story with my empire.
That's right.
It'll be fun.
That's right.
Okay, Garrett, what's your Steam Pick of the week? Because I took the best one, Stellaris.
You did.
What's yours?
I did. I let you have that one. No. I picked, because this coming week, there'll be another major release. So there was 3 major releases this week, in my opinion. Stellaris, Uncharted 4 comes out this week.
Not a Steam game.
Not a Steam game.
So it can't be a Steam game.
Not a Steam game.
I know.
But the other one that comes out...
I really thought about picking that.
No, it's not a Steam game. But the other one that is a Steam game, but is also out for consoles, is Doom. So I picked Doom as my pick. Bethesda, it's a Bethesda game, but I forget the studio who did it. Can't find it.
Oh, they're the publishers?
Yeah,
right.
That's right. But
wasn't it worked on by like John Carmack or whoever, the guy who created the first Doom? Like, didn't he still have a big part in this Doom?
I think so. I can't remember. I watched the announcement at the E3 conference last year, and like I wasn't a huge Doom fan. I never played the original or anything like that. But when I watched this, I was like, whoa, this is intense and actually kind of something that like the over the top. Anyway, the Steam page says Doom returns as a brutally fun and challenging modern-day shooter experience. Relentless demons, impossibly destructive guns, and fast, fluid movement provide the foundation for intense first-person combat, which is like right up my alley. I love the over-the-top stuff. I think there's one weapon called the BFG, the big fucking gun.
Or big fucking gun.
Something like that. It's the B. Sorry, Doom fans, if I got that wrong, but
that sounds like what it would be called.
This is one that intrigued me. You know, you battle through hell and stuff, and all the demons and first-person style. No, it looks great.
Oh yeah, Doom was like the original first-person shooter. Like it was first,
That's right.
first
That's
person
right.
shooter. And it's also so video game when you think about it. Like you're just like this macho dude apparently, who just blows up demons in hell. Like,
yeah, man. Like, I'm down for that.
Yeah, that is a hilarious idea. And the fact that it's so popular, and it was so popular, and still is, and I expect it to be like a super popular release. Like, I think I think a lot of people are like, have seen the videos, have seen the gameplay footage, and it looks fun.
No,
like,
I know.
You're like
I was interested by it.
You're like blowing guys up,
Yeah,
shooting
man.
them, chainsaws, whatever. You got it all.
Whatever. You just kill them hard as hard as you can.
Yeah, and I think is there multiplayer? There's got to be.
I think they were saying there's multiplayer. Yeah.
I think that would just be also so fun because you're just doing all that same stuff but to real people.
I think it might be co-op as well. I can't remember exactly. Maybe we should look that up, but we shouldn't pop off for the fans. But yeah,
Right.
definitely that's my pick of the week. Just it was one that it's a franchise that I'd never really been that invested in, never really had that much ties to, just because I think the original was maybe a little bit before our time.
100% it was. Yeah.
So we don't really have the history behind it, but one that now they've reinvented itself, and it's something that's actually, I'm interested in. It looks great.
I think for a lot of the people where Doom the original was part of their time, they'll get to play this new Doom and it'll feel like the same thing. It'll feel like how they remember it, but it won't actually be that way. It'll be a lot.
It won't be
more
like
modern.
that. Going down the
blocky.
hall. It'll be nice.
It'll be good and modern.
Yeah,
But the nostalgia, I think, will be very real for those people.
I think so too.
Anyway,
just a reminder that Video Games Day is brought to you by Yes Guy Gaming. Check out Yes Guy Gaming's website or YouTube channel for video game reviews, as well as every single episode of Video Games Day. We've got them archived, so you can go back and listen to what we were popping off about weeks ago. I do that sometimes just to see what we got right or wrong.
mostly
so head over there, like, subscribe, check out the content, share with your friends, all that stuff. We definitely appreciate any and all support here on Video Games Day. And on that note, let's get back to the show. Josh, do you have anything you've played in the last 2 weeks?
So yeah, in the last 2 weeks, I've only had a couple days worth of time.
Yeah, hence why we missed an episode.
Yeah, like if we
Sorry.
had done an episode, I would have nothing. So
Not why we didn't do the episode,
but
also
good
kind of
enough.
why we didn't do the episode.
Yeah. So, but this past week, just these Saturday night and Sunday, I played an early access title called Basement.
Oh.
Basement. So it is a. Let me go to the store page. It is a drug,
Whoa.
growing and selling tycoon management game.
Is there something you're trying to say to us here, Josh?
No. I'll read you the.
Was this
thing.
actually a game, or were you like, oh yeah, I was playing a game called Basement where I grow drugs? Haha. Yeah, it's a game.
That's why I was busy. No. So Basement is a strategy game where you play as a desperate scientist who chose the wrong path in his life. That path seemed easy, but turned into a deadly one. You have no choice but to build the most effective enterprise and stay alive in a cruel world of illegal business.
See, that sounds cool. That sounds
right,
really cool.
Yeah, so the gameplay is like, it's a 2D perspective, and if you can remember games like Sim Tower or Fallout Shelter, where you've got kind of your base with rooms in it.
Oh.
And so it starts kind of empty, and you can build rooms as you go. You can also choose to like dig deeper land or open new rooms out to the side and stuff like that. So you put in grow ops or chemical labs, depending on the type of drug you're growing or making. You put in dealer rooms. You have garages. So you start with one little house, and as you go, you kind of have to expand your base of operations beyond that house. And so you have to like take over other houses that are also on the map by sending your like employees there who also have a damage score and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like you can like dig down in their basement,
right?
And connect it to your basement, just the house down the street.
Well, like in some of these buildings, you have little garages that can house a scooter, vans, or like big trucks.
Right.
And so they'll like ship your drugs between. So you can have your like dealer room and a garage and a storage room in one, just a tiny little 3-room house. And then in your main base, just fill it with grow rooms and storage. And that
you ship
van
it over
or
there
scooter,
to sell it.
Yeah, we'll ship it there and he'll sell it like right away.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so and in that way, it is very cool. I'm a little not upset, but sad that it's only halfway done. They just in April released their 0.5 update.
Oh.
Like 0.5 version.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it says there's going to be a lot more features, but right now it's completely playable. There isn't a ton of depth, but you can start on a pretty big map, and if you just set your goal as I want to own every single building and I want to have the biggest possible drug empire I can.
That's interesting to me because you're kind of the early access gives you a look into the game's development, which is great because as fans we rarely get that. I mean, you know a little bit more about that with your your game development, but you get to kind of see where they're going. So you see where they're at now, Josh, with where they are.
Yeah.
Pretty basic, but
Right.
playable. Like they could release it now,
They
but
could, but they charge a lot less.
but right, the decisions now are okay. So they have a plan of where they want to head with it, what they want to turn it into. So they could add, story scenarios. That's one way they could go with it, or just add more features and more things you could do and add it like a more sandbox style game with just more stuff you can do.
Yeah.
Is it like, are they saying which direction they're looking to head?
So they're looking to add random events,
Okay.
a research system, so you can kind of improve both the drugs that you produce and your rooms that produce them, and storage, all that, like
Okay.
research. They want to have loot items and power-ups, it says. I'm not sure how that will fit in, to be honest.
Interesting.
They want to have a dialogue system and a storyline.
So they want to do it all.
Kind of want to do it all.
They want to
But-
do it all. Ambitious.
But where they're at now is a very good, just no story or objectives,
Right.
like tycoon management game.
Right.
like-
Okay. So does that lend itself better to just saying, well, we're just going to do this, but better. We're going to make a sandbox game you play through, grow as far as you can until the cops get on you, then it's over.
Yeah,
Like,
you could
does
do that.
Does it even need a story?
See, I haven't played long enough to know if there's
Oh,
a way to
okay.
lose.
Right.
You just lose if you run out of money and can't produce anything
okay.
anymore, and all your guys die.
Well, so I guess maybe that's where they want to add the dynamic events in there, like things that'll shake it up and maybe
Yeah.
scare your operation there.
Right, it's probably stuff like that. I'm thinking that there was like a wanted level style thing, so that I guess that if that gets high enough,
Right.
then the cops will crack down and you'll have to either fight them or
Well, that's cool.
pay them off. Who knows?
That's cool. Well, we'll look forward to that one when it comes out. Basement, it's called, eh?
It's called Basement. Yeah,
Basement.
it's
Nice.
It's $10 on Steam right now.
Oh, okay.
That's Canadian, so it's probably like $4 American.
It's probably like, yeah, it's free for Americans.
But $10, and honestly, you could probably, if you're into the management sim tycoon, you could get a lot of fun out of that.
Even now in its state.
Yeah, even now for $10. And if they are going to increase the price, which I don't know, then now would be a good time to get it.
Yeah.
Right. Although I don't typically promote early access, but these guys, it seems fine.
Well, that's a great story, Josh.
That's what I've been
heartwarming.
playing. So what have you been playing? That's all I've been playing. What have you been playing?
I've had a big couple of weeks.
Nice.
Um,
Very good.
because I'm trying to take the game reviews to the next level.
Hey, good.
Because
You gotta play more.
I'm realizing we're getting some views. Like we can get some reviews. Like you guys, we've had some fans out there who've watched us and subscribed, and we're super thankful. But really, the idea is, okay, well, what's my niche? Where am I going to find what's going to get me people to watch? Like
Yeah.
I'm passionate about this stuff, but at the end of the day, why are you doing it unless you're going to take it
Grow.
somewhere? So I'm trying to take the reviews to the next level in terms of how in depth and analytical I can get.
Right.
Like actually be a game critic rather than just telling you what the game's about and giving my score.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
For you.
So I think it's something I'm good at, and I'm learning how to do. But so I really tried to do that these past 2 weeks with a couple of games that I bought, and ones that I was looking to enjoy. So the first one that I played, and this was early last week, was Far Cry Primal.
Okay.
I'm a bit late to it. Obviously, it came out earlier this year, I think in March. But one that I always knew I wanted to go to, because I'd heard a couple people who are like, casual console gamers. I don't know if that's a weird term. Like they own a PS4 or own an Xbox One. They're like, oh yeah, Far Cry Primal. Yo, you should get it, man. It's good. You should get it. A couple people have said that to me, and I'm like, whoa, like, okay.
Okay.
I was a bit confused because I was like, to me, I played Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4.
Yeah.
And to me, it seemed like, anyway, I was interested.
Yeah.
And I played it, and again, more interested. Like it was an interesting one.
See, I have a question. Did you play the survival mode that they just kind of added?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
No,
because
I
I
didn't
heard
play
that like, from looking at Far Cry Primal, I haven't played it at all, but the base game looked kind of boring. Like it looked just like another Far Cry game. You go, you do the story, it's as fun as it is, and then that's it. There's just a million collectibles.
Yeah, so
after that.
you know what? It's pretty funny that you're saying that because that's right on.
Yeah.
But like Far Cry is Far Cry. Have you played Far Cry?
I have played 3, I think it was.
So while 3, 4, like it's the same formula. This huge map, you get all the outposts, you beat the missions,
Yeah.
you fight, whatever. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
but they've all been kind of the same thing. So what made them different? Oh, the story and things they've added, and that pretty much what they did in this game. They changed enough and they added enough to make it so that it wasn't exactly the same.
Well, the map I heard.
It was still the same.
Yeah.
It was still the same feel. Anyways.
Right. I mean, like that's the thing. It's a first-person game, and just because it's set in a different era and a different look, you're still just using your bow and your spear, and you're gonna kill a lot of guys.
You know what? For me, it was a good game. I've recorded my review already for it, so I'm gonna try to get that out as soon as possible.
Hopefully you do.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, geez. But it was a game of me. The theme to me is missed opportunity. You know,
right? Because
it's such a great idea.
I love the idea of prehistoric games.
It really is.
Actually, I've got one possible thing for the hype zone, but probably not this week because I don't think there's actually much info about it.
Wow,
but the prehistoric idea, it blows my mind.
No, and it was a great idea. And to me, my favorite and what really excited me the most and the biggest change was the beast mastery, having an animal companion and an interchangeable one that you could command and do things with. That would kind of add, because Far Cry, you've always been flying solo with the stealth and stuff. So the animal looked to change that up, add new mechanics for you to attack these outposts or whatever.
I heard the animal actually is kind of fun. Like,
well, it is kind of fun, and it adds, like, it's great. But I was so disappointed again. Missed opportunity. It took me like 1 hour to get all the animals.
Oh, wow, really?
Which is like, okay, great, I got the best animal. I'm excited. I got the bear, I got the saber-toothed tiger, it's all good. But really what they could have done is had you spend more time with the lower down animals so that you appreciated the growth and the struggle to work your way up the food chain. Rather than I just quickly got as many animals as I needed to get the best one.
Yeah.
And I was able to do that. And so I had it and I was like, okay, well, this is great. Like it's cool. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You tell it to go
kill a guy, somebody,
and he goes and, like, this saber-tooth tiger just eats him. Like they have an animation and it's gross, but they have an animation where like they pick the person's body up by like the gut area.
Yeah.
And like blood spurting out everywhere, and like it rips it to shred. It's just like, like it's harsh, but like nice.
Yeah.
But just like disappointing. And the other thing too is like at night. That's the one thing in Far Cry is like, okay, at night shit gets real. Like this is where we're gonna, the predators come out, and you've got a man versus nature has always been a major theme. But again, so disappointing because now you have an animal companion. So how's that gonna work? Are the other animals gonna go after this animal, or like what's gonna happen?
Right, like you'd think that nighttime should be more dangerous.
Right, and it was at the beginning, because when you're by yourself, there's like packs of wolves who circle around you, and you've got to defend yourself, and it's exciting because you're scared. You generally scared. But then when you get a beast companion, it growls, and then they all run away.
So overpowered.
So, well, it's protecting you, which to me I was like, well, this animal better scare these others away. Like
it's way bigger.
It kind of makes
your
sense.
Animal.
Yeah, I'm with a bear.
Yeah.
These wolves, okay, like there's two of us, two bears, and we're gonna take you out. But then again, why wouldn't they ever have a situation where there's a huge pack of jaguars who are trying to take down you and your bear? So now it's you and your animal versus the other wildlife. That
never aroused? Or never came up?
Not for me, and I played for about 10 hours, I'd say. And it didn't really come up for me. The nighttime was like a breeze. I just kind of walked through.
That sucks.
Which sucked.
I mean, I don't know what the survival DLC patch, whatever they call it.
That to me is something that could definitely change the game for the better. Not necessarily making it a little bit harder, but just changing those things that they missed out on.
Yeah, right. Apparently it just adds a lot of depth that when you're playing the vanilla game, this is what I heard. This is all hearsay. But when you're playing the vanilla game, you're like, man, I wish they had added this feature of like, I could go hungry or whatever. But then in the survival mode, they added that. And
I think that makes a whole lot of sense.
I'm not sure though. Yeah, it's good on them, but I'm not sure if they've added anything for the nighttime gameplay. But I know that was other people's big gripe with the game too. That like nighttime should be scary, and you're in the wilderness. Like that's when other animals are gonna be hunting you and your buddy. That's when it should have happened. But
and that's not really how it turned out. But again, maybe I'll have to go back and see if I can play that and see if it makes it any better. Because I think if it does, if it changes that, then it could take it up to like a great game status.
It potentially could be.
because it's done really well, but it was just kind of boring. So if it becomes a little bit more exciting, then it could be a great game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else have you been playing? Now you said it was the
I
beginning
did.
of last.
Well, I played another game that I reviewed as well, and this one I played for quite a bit, and I actually got into. Whereas
Nice.
Far Cry Primal, I wasn't really that excited to go return to play. I just felt like I had to. But I played Star Fox Zero.
Okay.
Which came out on April 22nd on the Wii
That's
U.
the new Star Fox, right?
It's the
Yeah,
new
on
Star
Wii U.
Fox on the Wii U. So I grabbed it, and I because new major Wii U release. There's not many.
Yeah.
There's not many Nintendo exclusives. So, and it was a mixed bag again. I just
Interesting.
like. Did you play Star Fox 64?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big
so
nostalgia
did I.
feel.
Like, a lot of classic things about that game. And what they did in Star Fox Zero was they kind of copied and pasted some major parts from that game and put it in Star Fox Zero.
I thought, well, like I heard that that's kind of what they wanted to achieve, a very Star Fox 64 feel, but modern
Right.
on the Wii U.
And they've done that.
Right.
The difference is it's like, okay, great, go for the feel, but don't literally copy and paste the entire story and some of the levels.
Well, like
They're the same.
I thought that's kind of what it was supposed to be, was like a remake.
Okay, well, you make a valid point. If it was a remake, it was a poor remake
Oh.
because they change it up completely as well. Okay,
But they have
is
a
it
lot
a
of-
reboot? Is it a reboot of the series? Well,
Could be.
but they've got like the exact same parts from some of previous games.
Right, maybe you're like doing a
So
different
maybe they're
mission.
trying to get a remake reboot combo. I don't know, but you know what? as much as I didn't like that, the controls, like they're messed up. Like
Oh, I heard. Yeah, but that's like the old one wasn't great either.
no, but the old
when-
one was at least there's one screen you have to look at.
What-
This one
Oh.
is the one screen's the same, but then you've got to look at the gamepad to aim. So like
No way.
in the old
That'd
ones
be
you could
so
fly
tricky.
and your aiming was kind of dictated by where you flew,
Yeah.
right?
Just
So
ahead
you couldn't
yeah.
really dodge and then shoot at the same time. You kind of had to
But
pick one, right? This
yeah.
one you could do both. You can move and then shoot in the other direction at the same time. But you have to look at the pad to see where you're aiming.
What the hell?
But
That would be so hard.
it's
Having
so
two screens
hard.
is like that is hard.
Because you got to look back and forth. But then what really pissed me off the most, and this is just incredible, like a huge F up. How do you screw this up? The reticule on the main screen, on the TV, does not match the gamepad. It's not the same.
Okay, but the reticule on the TV, is that where you're going as opposed to where you're
No.
aiming?
No,
It's just its
nothing.
own thing.
It's where it would be relative to the first person view.
Okay.
But when you shoot it, it's like coming from a different angle.
What the
So
hell?
it like goes by, it misses. So you have to look at the gamepad to
What the
see
hell?
where you're shooting. Like it's so confusing.
That's so strange.
weird. But once you get it, which you will get it,
Yeah. Yeah.
once you get it, you will get it. You can. It feels like you're in like a Star Wars, like you're in the Millennium Falcon, like like
That's kind of cool.
because you're flying, and then the enemies come by, and you just go like you tilt the controller, kind of like in that same movement as they go by. You kind of pull back and shoot them as they go by you, which is
Okay, that's pretty cool.
it's so fun. That
Okay, so you're saying once you get good, it's like
once you get good,
actually a sick
it
mechanic,
can be actually really sick. Like,
but there is
so
a learning
hard to
curve.
get good. Like, it takes
Yeah.
like 3 hours to get good, and the campaign
Get
only lasts
good.
5 hours.
Get good, son.
Yeah, man. Like it's just so a couple of games these weeks for me that are just like head scratchers for sure.
Like they're good potential, but they didn't deliver fully.
Yeah, like both good. I enjoyed my time with both, but
Right.
also didn't for completely different reasons for both those games.
That's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's super interesting. So I'll hopefully try to get those reviews out as soon as possible. But then again, this week, such a big week for us here at Video Games, eh? Got a couple
Man,
of
this
big
week-
releases.
This week is nuts for video games, I believe.
It's a big week.
Like, when you think about it, when you look at the games coming out this week, let me load up Steam here.
Like when you look at the past month and what's come out in the past month compared to what's coming out this week.
Yeah, this week is nuts.
Like,
and,
thanks guys for just loading it all up into this week.
And you know what I think? That maybe that's because a lot of schools are getting out now, like college, university level schools.
True.
Are all finishing up end of April, beginning of May, and now they're trying to get that summer gaming kick, you know?
That summer game. Stellaris.
Stellaris
sure.
is right on that.
For sure. I'm down for Stellaris. Literally already bought Stellaris.
Yep, there's Doom.
Steam pick of the weeks. Our Steam picks of the week are coming out, obviously. Uncharted 4, which, I've got to play.
I'm either going to buy it for my dad and then try to play it when I'm there tomorrow and then the subsequent Tuesday as well. Or I'm going to just hope that he bought it.
Well, we can talk about Uncharted 4 for a bit. We can hype that up a little bit if you want, just because I'm buying it.
Okay.
But I watched a couple of reviews for it because obviously all the major outlets, we're not a major outlet here up in Canada, eh?
Are you sure?
We don't get the review copies like these IGN GameSpot punks do down south. But I watched both their reviews.
Yeah.
And 10 out of 10.
Dude, I just saw a video like before we did this, and it was about there's like kind of graphical modifiers that you can have in the game. Like they're just unlockable random kind of graphics modifiers just to change up the gameplay experience a little. So one you can get is cell shaded. So everything kind of has that Borderlands look.
Yeah.
Like it goes from being the regular Uncharted HD kind of graphics that looks sort of real to being this cell shaded kind of cartoony comic book look.
Oh.
Then there's also the ASCII mosaic. So everything on the screen is represented with ASCII characters.
Right.
Like numbers and symbols and stuff, and it's kind of very ugly and hard to look at.
Wow.
But it's like a thing. It's there. You can play like that.
That's so interesting to me.
There's like slow motion, rainbow fun mode. Like I don't know. There's a video that has all of them, which I'm sure you can post in your description.
Well, yeah, they were saying it was a technical marvel.
Oh yeah, and there's there's 8-bit pixel mode. There's 4-bit sound, helium sound mode, so everyone's talking in really high voices. And then there's xenon sound, so everyone's voice is.
Oh, that's hilarious, man!
Like there's just so many of these extra things. Like that's just extra stuff that isn't part of the game at all.
Yeah.
But they've just said, you know what, we can do it.
Oh
so
God,
let's do it.
I'm so looking forward to it, and the story, like that's what they said too. The story is extremely satisfying, on top of all these other great things that they've added to the game.
And I also heard that, yeah, you're right. It's like a technical marvel for the PS4. Like I think it runs at the max settings all the time.
Which it's about time.
Right,
Really.
but the fact that means this is happening now, you know? Ooh, it's happening. Like, for the first few years of these next-gen consoles, the PS4
Yeah.
and Xbox One, there was all these games saying, oh, a true next-gen experience. But they all had hiccups and poor releases and all that stuff. But now, if we're actually going to get one that is like Uncharted, a PS4 exclusive, that is a next-gen experience.
You know, and that part of me thinks that maybe the success that they've been able to have in terms of the technical aspects of the game and getting those right with all these different graphical settings and just all it looks so amazing, and the huge worlds and everything they've been able to do technically, but it's an exclusive. Right, so they didn't need to spend the time to port it to both consoles.
Right, there was no extra development costs. They could just focus on maxing out the PS4.
Which makes me think, well, if I'm a developer truly interested in creating an amazing piece of work, which I would hope that most developers are like that.
You'd be wrong.
Rather than just create a game, we're going to put it on all five mobile, DS, Vita, every console, more money. Right?
No, that's how most of them are.
Yeah, you got to pay the bills, but you know, when you really put the effort in something like this, yeah, it's an exclusive, but it's a it's like if it's as good as these review outlets are saying, it could be a console seller.
Right, like if my friend who owns my PS4 comes back, I would probably end up buying a PS4. And probably getting the one that comes with Uncharted 4. You know how because it's an exclusive
bundle, for
partner?
sure bundle is coming.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, no, I'm just so impressed, and it's a good time. We talked about it several episodes ago. We can say that now, but it's a great time for video games, eh?
It is right now.
If we're getting stuff like this.
Well, like, I think it's a good time because for a while it wasn't a good time. There was games coming out that weren't completed on release. Right. There was, like, there still is the annual release cycles of a lot of video games, like Call of Duty and things like that. But as we're going forward and users, players, are saying stuff like, hey, that's enough. We're tired of shitty releases. And we're tired of all that other stuff. As we get more tired of it, developers are going, okay, let's make better video games then.
Well, yeah, we can even look at this episode as an example. And even as this episode, relative to maybe our first episode, and the kind of stuff we talked about it, we've done 7 weeks in a row where EA screwed something up. Right? But even within that, this week, they take a big slap in the face, a big shot at another major bully in the gaming industry, Activision.
Activision, yeah.
Which, like, okay, I get there are going to be bullies and crusaders and the heroes of any industry. That's how it works. Like, we understand that as consumers. Like, it's the same thing with any other product you see out there. There's going to be people who are doing it right, people who are just in it for the money. Great. But to see even the big bullies going toe-to-toe, trying to outdo each other, like, that's got to be a good sign.
Right. It's the fact that they are now trying to be outwardly competitive with each other. That's also going to make a huge difference in kind of the way the market goes now.
Yeah.
Like Call of Duty has to answer or they go extinct.
I read that Activision's CEO commended EA on their release.
I heard that.
You know, because you got it. Like, it's like, well done.
That's like saying, like, I know I've lost, so good job.
You know, and with Uncharted, and it just makes you think. We've heard some rumors of some of the other games that we're going to be getting. We talked about maybe we can have a hype zone, but like more of like a meta hype zone this week.
Okay.
Bit of a meta hype zone, a hype zone for the industry, an industry hype zone.
I'm very down. The industry deserves that.
Like some of the stuff we've talked about already, but some stuff we haven't, but we just heard about. For example, ukulele. That's an incredible thing we've talked about. That is, with every day becoming more of a reality.
Yep. Every day gets us closer to the release day.
A game like Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yep.
Which we have no information yet, but can you
It's been there.
Can you imagine what they're going to do with that?
Yeah, dude.
Let's look at Uncharted 4 as an example of what's possible. This is what's possible. So if this is the standard, let's hope it's the standard. Now I know it's a Marvel, but you got to think that maybe in a year that there'll be more and more things that are able to accomplish this type of work, don't you think?
Right, like in a year, the Marvels of today are the standard of a year from now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, because things are going so fast now, so you got to think that there are already games in development that are going to achieve this level of technological advancement, story development, gameplay mechanics, and everything that they've included in, what we assume is going to be an amazing game. We haven't played it yet.
Right.
But there's all sorts of other stuff that should be on the horizon. What do you think Bethesda is working on next? They're doing something.
I hope it's another Elder Scrolls game.
I hope so too. That would be incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, that would be.
Like, we've been waiting for it.
Well, like, that's the thing is Bethesda likes to take their sweet ass time on release cycles.
Well, and they're a champion for the industry, right? And that's what they do. They take their time, they build it up well, and they release something that people actually want to play. That's a business model that fans can definitely get around.
Well, and they also cycle through games. So, like, they did Skyrim, then they did Fallout, the next one, Fallout 4. Sorry. And then, like, now they'll do... Do they have a third IP, kind of?
Well, they have a couple different studios, right? So this is Bethesda Game Studios that we're talking about here. Other studios have other stuff. So, like, they have ZeniMax Online, who does Elder Scrolls Online. They have another studio who does Doom. Like, they're big now, right? They're a big deal now.
Yeah.
And even the big name companies like EA, as much as we hate on EA, they probably hate Call of Duty more.
Yeah.
Right? And
the fact that Call of Duty is making more money than their Battlefield series, which they've probably put more money into.
Right. They're probably bitter.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's take them out. I'm down with the EA. If you want to go on the offensive, we can be allies for now to take down Activision.
For this week, we'll see what you got going
Because
on.
I still owe Activision a good beatdown from another game that I reviewed and hated.
Which one was
Tony
that?
Hawk Pro Skater 5.
Oh, 5.
And you,
Man,
oh,
Thug,
dude,
the original was the best
the
one.
best. That reminds me too, though. You
Or
see
4.
you see the piss poor crap that comes out of some of these companies to just cash in.
Mhm.
The way things are now, it gets shit on.
And fast. And people are getting better at not pre-ordering.
It's over.
Yeah.
Like you do something like that, it's done. Like you've
Yeah.
killed it.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
you,
like, so-
and like if you don't make your money back on that game, then your company's done.
You're done. Like, I'm sorry, it's harsh, but that's the way with the internet and how everything goes these days. So Activision, big blow with this Infinity Warfare release.
Yeah. Plus Battlefield 1. Holy. It looks
Oh my
so
gosh.
cool. Everyone listening at this point in the podcast should take the next X amount of minutes when we finish to watch that trailer if you haven't seen it.
And watch.
I
and
really
watch the
think that
ones-
everyone's seen it. though.
Watch the ones with the memes with the EA and the
Yeah,
Activision
the dice
put in front
hitting
of
the
their face.
Activision.
That one
Yeah.
made me laugh.
That made me
We
laugh.
can't show that on this show though because EA.
Yeah, our show would be gone.
We'd be we'd be we'd be hypocrites. But anyway, Josh, I think we're coming to a close. Bit of a meta hype zone there.
Definitely,
you
the
know what?
industry's looking good. Maybe Hype Zone next week.
But
Who
I
knows?
like that when the games we talk about get us on this kind of groove.
Yeah,
Get us
same.
talking about something else. Because it's why we do it, because we love it. That's why
Yep.
we do it, right?
Dude, I was trying to talk to you on Saturday. Like we just were together and we talked about video games.
And that's
Like
what we
it.
do
Love
here
it.
on video
Yeah.
games, eh?
We talk about video games. We love it.
We love it, and we hope you guys love it too. And we want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us for an hour or however long we've been on here this episode. We really, really appreciate it. Josh, I got to thank you for being here with me.
Thank you, Garrett, for having me. I think we should do this again because I had fun.
I had fun too, and we will do this again because we always do.
Always
And
do.
I mean, we faked you out last week by not doing it, but we always do.
We always
do.
Yeah.
So again, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time on Video Games, eh?